Hey everybody, it's Ken McElroy here, and we're here with Mike Ayala.
Hey Ken.
And Mike's got an incredible podcast called Investing for Freedom, and this is his freedom formula. As you guys know, we talk about financial freedom, and it's really this simple. If you have $2,000 a month in expenses and you can generate $2,000 a month of passive income, you are now financially free. You have $2,000 covering your expenses and you're financially free. So Mike, awesome. Let's talk about this financial freedom formula, which he came up with. And we were just talking, so let's do it for our listeners, because I think this is awesome. So let's talk through it.
Yeah, so this is something that I actually applied in my life. We talked a little bit about this, but when my wife and I first started going through some planning, we were asked the question, what do you really want? Which is number one, what do you really want? And we just started thinking, I want to be able to travel with my family. I want to take time with my kids while they're little. You said this, you only have 18 summers with them, right? So what do I really want? I want to be able to go wherever I want, whenever I want, however I want.
For as long as you want.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It's not that I don't want to work,
right,
but I want to be able to. And so I just started, somebody asked me the question, what do you really want? And then they started, why do you want it? Because I want to be with my family. I don't want to lose those times. So anyway, we started going through this process.
So how would you bring a listener through here? Like, what's the best way? Because this is not a 30-second thought.
No, it's not.
Like this is a life-altering thing. Most people don't know this.
Right. Well, and that's why I asked the question, really. And by the way, I don't want to get too far ahead, but this is why we have to measure the results and adjust, because that's going to change. And so you have to give yourself permission to dream a little bit and start asking the question, what do you want? And then, okay, what do you really want? And why do you, it's a process. So when you start asking yourself this question today, it's going to be different in 3 months. So that's why I think the process is so important, because as you start really paying attention to this, things are going to adjust for you. You might think that you want an extra $100 a month right now. In 12 months, if you really start applying this, that number is going to change to $1,200 a month, because when you start lining things up, the universe comes alongside of you. People do all that. You start attracting what you're seeing.
It's true. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little secret here. So a lot of you guys know that I've done a lot of work with Robert Kiyosaki, and we speak a lot. We're really good friends. I was just with him for the last 2 days. Kim and Robert Kiyosaki, as you guys all know them as super successful, they spend 2 days together doing this.
Wow.
2 days. And part of that is what Kim calls her vision boards. Mm-hmm. So she has full boards. They cut out pictures. It's fun. They have fun, right? Yep. And they each have a vision board for the year. Now, these are super successful people.
Yep.
And so what happens, I think, a lot of times is like, oh, I don't have anything. I need to put together my goals. I'm telling you, the successful people in life, at least most of my friends, are always evaluating this. Yeah. You do this every year, right?
Absolutely.
It's really important.
Well, so it's all about focusing on what you want. If you're focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want, it begins changing the narrative. So that's why Robert and Kim, they constantly have that in front of them. Instead of, oh, I don't get this and I don't get, what do you want? Start focusing on that.
So I'll tell you what yours are probably a little different. We've never actually talked about this, but I have, relationship goals.
Yep.
I have health goals.
Yep.
I have business goals.
Yeah.
I have financial goals.
Right.
And they're all very different, right? And personal goals.
Yep.
My personal goals might be, I want to learn how to play the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I'm trying to learn how to do that, right? And I'm failing miserably, by the way, but I'm still trying, right?
Yeah.
But I have that. And then, of course, working out is one, but they're all very different.
Yeah.
My family is different than my friends. My business is different than my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're all important. And this is really important, guys, that you figure this out, because you can be all over the map. I know we talked about your goals seminar. Mm-hmm. So this is, and the real estate guys have that incredible goals seminar that they do in San Diego every year. As we're flying around and doing things, guys, we're always trying to measure and articulate and fine-tune what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So you sit down with Kara.
Yeah.
And do this together?
Yeah, and we have a sheet that we track everything, because I think the measuring is extremely important, because if you don't measure it, that's just saying to me it doesn't matter to you.
Well, that's why I like the EOS, the KPIs, or key performance indicators. Well, you look at Peter Drucker. If you guys haven't read Peter Drucker, you should. He says what's not measured is not managed. I am a big believer of that. You have to manage you know, and you have to, right?
Yep.
Whether it's your weight,
Yeah.
your bank account, whatever. And a lot of people just put their head in the sand
Yeah.
over all this stuff,
Yeah.
right?
That's a great example. Karen and I have 52 date nights. We
Yep.
measure it every week. We check it off. Did we do it or not?
Yeah,
And people would be like, oh, you have to like check whether you dated your wife or not. No, like we get so busy. That's so important to me that I have to measure it and I have to check that off.
I have date night tonight.
Nice.
That's
I like
the
it.
truth. Every Monday night.
Double date? No. I'm just kidding.
No, it's true. That's a relationship goal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you're off rolling around, you're doing stuff, and you have to connect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The same thing with my kids. You know, I try to talk to them or text them every day. I call my mom almost every time I go home.
So good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these are all little
Yeah.
things, guys, but they're important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well,
Always-
life gets in the way.
It
if,
does.
If you didn't force yourself to call your mom every 10 days, 20 days could go by and you just forget. So,
It's happened, by the way. I'm not always perfect on it. I mean, sometimes I'll go, oh, shoot, I'm going to talk to my mom in like almost a week,
Yeah.
right? Which now is super unusual, right?
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, you know, and I'll tell you, there's been a number of things here that have helped me. I didn't know how to write a book, but now I've got 6. You know, I didn't know how to speak, but I hired a coach that taught me how. You know, I didn't understand how to, you know, hire for an accounting department and a CFO and a COO and all that kind of stuff. All this stuff is accomplished through this,
That's awesome.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
Every single thing, it needs to be measured, just like your financial statement, right?
Yep.
So you've got this new website, this new podcast. How's that going to work? And so if some of our listeners want to know about it, what do they go to?
Yeah, so if they just go to www.investingforfreedom.co, you'll find everything there. The podcast is going to launch. I'm going to be doing 3 podcasts a week, different formats. And I actually have a worksheet that helps you go through this whole process, helps you measure it, helps you track it. There's a thing in there we call a happiness index that kind of measures where you're at in all these 8 areas. The things that you were talking about, the relationship, the love,
Yeah.
all that, I have 8 areas that we've broken
Oh,
it down
very
into.
good,
So,
very good, guys. Well thought out, somebody with lots of experience. I highly recommend you go there, follow these 5 steps. This is all about goals and strategy for you guys so that you can become financially free. So thanks for listening.